Hi, thanks for joining me. This video is about supervisa applications. Supervisa is a visit visa only for parents and grandparents. And so if you have a parent or a grandparent that you wish to invite, most likely you should look at supervisa first before you look at visit visa. And there's multiple reasons. One, a supervisa has a higher chance of success than a visit visa. Second, a supervisa duration is 10 years. And recently, immigration has changed where your parent or your grandparent can stay up to 5 years at a time. Versus a visit visa, the maximum duration at a time is only 6 months. So it makes sense to invest your money and your time into a supervisa application. However, there are some really strict requirements to submit a supervisa application. There is a very important requirement called the LICO requirement, low income cutoff requirement. This is where you demonstrate to the officer that you have the means to support the family member that you're bringing in as a visitor. And you do that by demonstrating it through your notice of assessment. You have to show that your last year income supports their visit. And so that amount depends on your family size. And the family size includes you. So for example, if it's you, your spouse, and your 2 children, and you want to bring over your mom, that's a family size of 5. So you look at the chart and say the LICO requirement is X dollars, and then you match it with your notice of assessment. If you are married or you have a common law partner, you can include their notice of assessment as well. So it's a joint application, and both combined incomes support that invitation. So the LICO is the first one that's important. The other one that's very important is an upfront medical examination. Unlike the visitor visa, the person that you're inviting has to do an upfront medical exam. That medical examination directly gets sent to immigration, and they look at it to ensure that there's no inadmissibility issues, no medical inadmissibility issues. Because remember, a super visa is approved for 10 years, and your parent can stay up to 5 years at a time. And so immigration wants to make sure that the individual that we're bringing over is in a condition that is not going to be a burden on the healthcare system of Canada. The other thing that's absolutely mandatory and important is medical insurance. The person you're inviting has to have upfront medical insurance, and you have to pay for that for the minimum of 1 year. So even though the duration is 5 years that they can stay, when you submit the application, you have to prove that the first year of medical insurance has been paid upfront. And that's for both parents if you're bringing both parents, and each of them need their own documentation. The medical insurance coverage is minimum $100,000. The other thing that's important is the invitation, of course. You have to include an invitation letter or a purpose of why you're inviting them and how long you're inviting them. Make sure you sign it and you include your ID documents, such as your passport or your PR card, and the most important, your birth certificate, to show that this is truly your parent or your grandparents. Another document that you should include is the purpose of travel. So as I stated, the invitation letter comes from you and your potential spouse to say we're inviting them for X amount of months or years. The purpose of travel comes from the parent or the grandparent to say this is why we want to travel to Canada, this is where we'll be staying, and we have an invitation letter from my child or my grandchild to support this stay in Canada. The last thing you want to also include are your ties to your home country. So as a parent or grandparent that comes in, make sure you don't close all your ties in your home country because you're going to come for many, many years. You do want to show, because it's still a temporary document, that you have reasons to go back to, whether that's property, other family members, etc. And that has to be addressed in the application. So think of a super visa as a visit visa, because it is a visit visa. And so you have to demonstrate ties, purpose of travel, invitation letter, etc. But it's only for parents and grandparents. And because they are elderly, you must include medical insurance and upfront medicals. Hopefully that explains the difference between the visit visa and a super visa. If you have any questions, I'm here to help. Thank you. Until next time.